one of the things I've learned in my approach to therapy is to help people change their patterns. Figure out what's not working and just jam that pattern, change it in some way, in a small or big way, or to find patterns that work. And so I was explaining this to a friend of mine one time. She was not a morning person, and her greatest desire was to adopt kids. And she adopted 2 kids. And those kids were morning people. That is, they got up really early in the morning. And she found herself, even though she loved having, and she chose to have these kids, to adopt them, she found herself pretty irritable in the morning. And usually she was a pretty happy-go-lucky person. And so her husband noticed this, and the kids noticed it, and they started to complain about it. Oh, Mom, you're kind of, cranky, and you're easily upset. And she goes, yeah, I hate to get up in the morning. She said, I just don't feel in a good mood when I get up early in the morning, and you can't avoid it with the kids. She was talking to me about this, and she was really disturbed about it. She didn't like how she was in the morning with her kids, and she goes, one day her husband says to her, I think you got up on the wrong side of the bed, when she was kind of irritable with him. And she thinks, oh, what Bill talks about is changing your patterns. She said, maybe I did get up on the wrong side of the bed. And the next morning, she gets out of bed, and usually she gets out of her side of the bed, and instead she decides to roll over and get out of her husband's side of the bed. He's already up, and she gets out of his side of the bed, and she finds this amusing, and he finds it amusing. She tells him about it, and she laughs a little in the morning, and boy, it changed how the whole morning went. She was in a better mood. She started with a laugh instead of being irritable. Oh, I have to get up so early, and I'm so tired. It totally changed the morning. The kids noticed it, her husband noticed it, and she was like, this is great. And that worked for a couple of weeks. She just had a delightful time getting out of bed on the wrong side of the bed. And then it didn't work anymore. She got up one morning and she was irritable, and they all noticed it and they commented on it. She said, okay, well, the next morning she crawled out of bed on the front of the bed instead of getting out on one of the sides. And again, it was delightful and it worked. And all she had to do was keep changing it up, changing the pattern, and she wasn't cranky and irritable in the morning. I love that example of making one small change in your usual routines to get you into a different mood, to get you into a different mode. And that's a small change to make a big difference.